Hello once again, everybody. Sorry I didn't get this up last night. We had a little bit of an issue with time, mostly in that the movie that I'm going to be reviewing I actually watched with friends, and we had to get this set up, and then we had to get watching it, and by the time I was done, it was already 2 a.m., and I was dead tired, and so were they. So I opted to do it this morning. So I guess you're gonna get probably two today. Okay. Moving on. Today's movie is something. Well, yesterday's is something that I think was kind of interesting because it took a rather traditional horror trope, as it were, and put a rather unique spin on it. The movie is called Hush. It's a 2016 film that is available exclusively on Netflix, believe it or not. They picked it up at a film festival as the distributor. It's directed by Mike Flanagan, who also directed Oculus, and it was written by him and his wife, who also stars as the lead. Um, a very small, intimate project. There's 5 characters in the entire movie, plus a cat. Um, and well, there's a couple more, but they're like off-screen mentions, I suppose. Uh, the basic gist of the movie is that there's this woman who is an author, and she has moved away from the city out to the country for the sake of the isolation so that she could focus on her writing without many distractions. She's got a first book done, she's working on the sequel. Um, and she finds herself the victim of a rather sadistic, twisted person who knows he has her trapped and is basically taking his time tormenting her and torturing her and and just messing with her head until he gets ready to come in to her house at his own leisure. And I know this does seem really formulaic, but here's the interesting twist. She's deaf and mute. Um, in Apparently, when she was 13 years old, she contracted bacterial meningitis, and it took her hearing and her ability to speak. So the movie is actually not very dialogue heavy. There are only like a handful of scenes with any actual dialogue. And most of it comes from the psycho in this case, who's actually played very well, I think. Um, in that he's not over the top. You know, a lot of these movies with someone like that who basically gets off on killing, they go over the top with it. You know, he has that twitch or that insane laugh or that, licking the knife or. No. This guy does get off on it. You can tell he does. He enjoys it, but it never seems to go too far over the top, really. And I think that's actually a really nice touch. It keeps things very well grounded. And the lack of dialogue actually was very impressive in that, I mean, this character is deaf and mute, and almost every bit of their performance, has to come without dialogue, unless you count like an internal dialogue, which does happen in one scene, which is actually a callback to something kind of mentioned in passing earlier in the movie, so that's kind of cool. But, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like the performance has to be done entirely through like expressions and behavior and body language, and she did a phenomenal job. You know, I bought that this was someone really going through this kind of crap, and it's not like it how do I say this? It's not that the movie itself has like an amazing story or anything. It's something that's been done, but the twists that they managed to put on it, um, and the atmosphere they managed to create, the music, at some point some of the camera angles and the lens filters they use, um, it really does add to the overall tension. So, uh, definitely something I recommend. It was made on like a shoestring budget, less than $100,000. Again, only 5 actors actually appear in the movie, but it's a really solid, tense, kind of freaky movie, and I definitely recommend you guys go check it out. Um, I'm gonna give it, yeah, why not? 8 out of 10. Good movie. Um, at any rate, that's it for this round, and I will catch you guys later. See ya.